what's up guys? RATPACK right here with another YouTube video. This is our first review ever on this channel. This is my friend Zach.
Hello.
He will be joining me today for the Batman the Killing Joke review. I saw this movie on Monday. It had a limited 2-day releasing in theaters. I believe it has already came out on Blu-ray and DVD, or it's going to.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So overall, like, I thought it was a great movie. I had a blast watching it. I mean, me being a hardcore, like, DC comic lover, like, I thought it was pretty, like, faithful to the comics.
It did add stuff.
It did. Yes, it did. It did add stuff. It did for sure.
And by stuff, I mean half of the movie, but
half the movie was added on.
Yeah.
This is true.
At first, I was like, "Why are they telling this?"
Yeah.
For people who haven't seen it, first half of the movie is kind of an alternate story about Barbara, aka Batgirl, and kind of her relationship with Batman, and her deciding to no longer be Batgirl. And before then, suddenly the movie shifts to being the plot of The Killing Joke, the comic. But at first I was like, okay, this is cool, I liked it, but I didn't know really where it was going. And then once it jumped into that second half and then proceeded with that, I was like, wait, why did this first half have to be included with this? And I think it was just to kind of pad it out, because overall it's still a pretty short movie. It's under an hour and a half. That
was in the back of my mind, because when we see that whole first part, we're like, okay, this is a story of, like, Barbara Gordon and Batman's relationship. But for some reason, it just didn't really kind of blend well.
No.
Like, it just kind of just stopped, and then it was like 13 years later, 3 years later, 3 years later, and then it was just into the comic. And so I'm trying to figure out, like, why was that so meaningful for the second half?
Do we want to go into spoilers with this?
I mean, by this point, I mean, if you're already watching this review, you probably already saw the movie, or maybe you didn't. But this is just a warning. Spoiler alert. We're going to be talking about a little bit about the plot and what happened in the movie. That some people had many questions as to why it was included in the movie.
Yeah.
So, right off the bat, there is, like, this random, just, like, sex scene between Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, and Batman. It wasn't in the comic before. Why would you include something like this now?
Significant as that?
Very significant. Yeah, very significant.
Because, I mean, Batman is a very iconic lone wolf character.
Yeah.
Obviously, he does have, some romantic tensions with most often more of his villain characters, I feel like, but, or anti-hero characters. But it happens so suddenly. I mean, they're fighting because she's upset at him, and then at one point she, like, beats him in the fight, and she gets on top of him and, like, gets in his face and looks at him, and then just starts making out with him, and she rips her shirt off, and the camera pans away. It felt a little ridiculous. It felt a little bit ridiculous. I like that. I mean, it definitely, they were going a long way to make her a three-dimensional character in terms of all these conflicting emotions and thoughts that she had going on, but that all gets trumped by the second half, which The Killing Joke, which is not Barbara Gordon's story. Like, it's not. It's
weird because, I mean, I've read not like a ton of Batman comics, but, I'm pretty well versed in, the lore and Batman and all the characters, and never once were there any kind of romantic feelings between Batman and Barbara Gordon and Batgirl. I mean, because right off the bat, like, Batman's like a mentor to her, towards her, and so we never really see them romantically involved at all. And it's not even in the back of our mind, because we don't see them as kind of like a couple. We see them kind of like a fatherly kind of daughter relationship, because he definitely is very protective of her right off the bat. Same thing with Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, Jason Todd. I mean, look what happened to him, and it didn't really makes sense in the movie. I love that they kind of built this backstory in the original comic for the Joker, because in all of the movies, the comics, the video games, there's nothing mentioned about who is the Joker.
It's never addressed.
Like, who is this person? Like, what is his origin story? What drives him? What does he want?
Which, I guess, going into the Joker, The big driving point I thought of this was Mark Hamill's performance.
Oh yeah.
Mark Hamill is Joker, best Joker.
I mean, ever since
these comic or animated ones.
Yeah, I mean, ever since the Arkham City game, you know, after that game, he was like, you know, I'm done doing the Joker, and then he came back for, I believe it was like Batman Under the Red Hood.
Mm-hmm.
He came back for Batman Arkham Knight, the video game, and then he definitely came back for Batman: The Killing Joke.
Mm-hmm.
Like what we were talking about earlier in the flashback scenes. I was picking up very much like, is that really him? Wow, he sounds so different.
Yeah.
But it's so much alike.
Yeah, he does an incredible job at doing obviously the Joker and then like the Joker pre-Joker. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I was 100% was like keying in. Was like, is that still Mark Hamill? And yeah, it is. And you can hear exactly like the little intonations that are similar to the Joker, but he sounds like a completely different man at the same time. And like, such a good performance.
Yeah.
Also, I want to touch on the animation because there were some shots that were just gorgeous. Like the animation, one both like the shot of the Joker, like the classic shot of the cover of the Killing Joke, the Joker with the gun, and his eyes are just like black with like glow, and then it's like that was really awesome to see. And then the moment when the Joker is in the park, that one, is in the park, and he's looking like around, and it's like a weird, almost like a fisheye lens effect.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes,
it's and there's like the light reflecting on his face. That was, I was like, whoa, like huge step up in quality in like that one shot, and it was really, really beautiful to watch.
Yeah, they I saw that what they were trying to go for. They were definitely trying to keep faithful to the comic as much as possible as far as the animation and keeping that type of artwork. And then they also wanted to kind of infuse it with, like, you know, the traditional tellings of Batman, the animated series.
Gotcha.
So they definitely found like a happy medium of those two. Because I mean, as you can see, the colors were awesome, the animations were awesome.
Absolutely,
it was cool.
Overall, I liked The Killing Joke.
Yeah, it was a great movie. If you guys want to go check it out, definitely go check it out. It's not in theaters anymore.
No.
They did a two-day release in theaters, but I believe it's out for DVD or Blu-ray, or you can download it somewhere on Apple or whatever, iTunes. So great animated film, awesome voice cast, amazing music. We didn't really touch on too much on the music, but overall the music complemented it very well, especially the action sequences. So yeah, guys, definitely go check out the movie. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you to my friend Zach here for doing the review. We'll definitely have some more reviews, some reactions coming up. Zach has a channel as well. You can follow him at
youtube.com/retroreexamined. Also have a Twitter account at retroreexamined, where I do video game reviews and stuff like that.
Cool. So definitely check out his channel. And if you're new to the channel, hit the share, like, and subscribe button. I have a couple of other videos to the Comic-Con trailer reactions, so definitely check that out. And we'll have some more content soon. Thanks, guys.